Listening to Smith Radio, smithradio.com. We are live every Sunday evening, 5 p.m. to 8 Eastern Time. If you want to be a part of the show, call-in line is 513-888-1538. Follow us on Facebook.com/Smith Radio. On Twitter, @Smith Radio.
You need a cheat sheet.
Oh.
I use my cheat sheet.
And if you want to listen to all the back shows, you can go, we made a quick little link for you. You can go to iHeart.smithradio.com. That'll take you right to iHeart. I was trying to keep my train of thought of where I was going. We're going back. So we're talking about Orlando. We're talking about Trump. We're talking about leadership. And this week we're talking about what happened with Trump. And he has, without a doubt, the most votes, breaking the record of anybody running for a presidential campaign. His campaign said that they were going to get to 1,400. I agreed with him at the time. I looked through it. I said,
it seemed like it was a tough row to hoe.
It was going to be, it's going to be a tough hoe. It's on the road so, to get there. So now it took them all 15. I don't know what the last number was. 1538, 15 something or other. And it's been an amazing thing. And the thing is it's you, the voter, we, the people that are voting for Trump to make this happen, because we are sick and tired of the GOP picking our candidate. 1542 is the latest number by New York Times. So 1542. And right after that, Trump came out and he made a comment. By the way, this Trump University thing kind of started to come up again, and Trump called that judge, because of his heritage, his Mexican bias, he is hating on me. Well, since then, we got people fact checking this judge.
Oh yeah,
and this judge is tied to La Raza. This judge is also tied to Hillary Clinton.
There's been a lot of different opinions on whether or not what Trump did was right, wrong, or why it's right, why it's wrong.
He's consistent every time, and here's why.
Okay, let's hear it.
He throws it out there for the piranha to chew and gnaw on the meat of that bone, to get to the bone. He is right every single time. Because when they get to the bone, they're like, oh, the newspapers, they chew it to get to the bone to find out how racist he is, and then they're like, oh, man, he trolled us again.
Yeah.
We went down the wrong road.
Oh, it's that he's paving all kinds of wrong roads for them.
And they keep I don't know how many news people bodies they can throw at all those bridge abutments, but they are landing black eyes and broken noses from hitting all these dead ends that he puts up to, because they find out what he's saying is just true.
Oh, yeah, absolutely true.
We even talked about this a couple different times, how we were nervous about something he said.
Well, last week I said that he made an unforced error, because when you say, I'll tell you what, it's probably the closest that he's come to the it's still hard for me to justify why you would attack him on his Mexican heritage when he has other issues that you can attack on.
Right.
And going down that road, somebody on talk radio this week pointed out that, this whole thing has been set up by the Democrat Party, where black defendants in court have been able to get away with attacking judgments against them based on the color of the jury the color of the judge.
Well, when OJ was being tried, it was nothing but race all wrapped around it,
right?
Because he's black and he killed a white woman.
Yeah, and there was a whole bunch of ethnic, whatever, not just black, but a whole bunch of different ethnicities on his jury, which would make it extremely hard to convict if it was based on race.
And his spokesperson says that he's really sick in prison right now. He's up to 300 pounds, and once he gets out of jail in the next year or two, he's going to give a press conference and announce that he did kill him.
Well, I mean, it's not going to be a shock to very many people, is it? I mean,
They said he needs to clear his conscience.
even black black racists, though he did it.
Yeah, they just
cheered. They cheered that he was announced innocent.
got away with it.
because he got away with
Right.
it. They love to see that a black man
And
gets
this
away with the whatever,
Right,
the
and
crime.
this is set up, like you said, by the Democrat Party. This division, divide and conquer. Divide all the American people up, divide them into groups, and conquer. That's where the term divide and conquer comes from. And that's what they're doing to us. Trump came out this week and said, hey, all y'all, Bernie Sanders, y'all mad? Y'all angry? She stole it from you? Yeah, jump on my wagon. We're good to go.
I'm going to tell you right now, let me warn all you Trump supporters right now, including you, Brian.
Okay.
Do not compare the organization ability and the teamwork. You cannot compare conservatives and progressives. The Bernie Sanders people that are so angry about how things went down, a shockingly high number of them are just going to jump on with Hillary. They're just going to do it. They will bite the bullet and do it. Because it's always for the society, for the greater good.
But him throwing
utopia.
Right, him throwing that out because Sanders only ran on the Democrat ticket because he is an independent, a libertarian.
Well, he's a socialist.
Well, no, but I mean, his seat in the House is not a Democrat seat. I thought he was like an independent seat.
If he is, I'm not 100% sure. But either way,
but definitely a socialist. But I'm saying that for Trump to throw that out there like that is hilarious because we see it as, wow, Hillary is really losing people, making people mad. The numbers last week were the Democrat Party, the votes, 7 million less votes than 2008.
There's a lot of Democrats that are on board with voting for Trump, and they're calling them the Trump Americans or something like that, aren't they? Because it was the Reagan Democrats.
Right.
So you think it'd be Trump Democrats.
Right.
They call them Trump Americans.
Oh, wow. Well, we should call them all Americans. Right. Everybody is an American, that's in this process here in America. They're all Americans. Don't divide them. Like I'm trying to say, don't divide them into different groups. We're all Americans. Trump is up 37% with Hispanics, which is absolutely dumbfounding the GOP. They have no idea. They're beside themselves. How did he do this? We've been trying to do this for years by appeasing to them. And
what do you think about Romney and Ryan attacking Trump this week?
Oh,
I mean,
it's despicable, is what it is.
Well,
it's despicable.
It seems to me that we've talked about this on the show before. I personally, when you listen to me on this show, what I really like to do is to explain things through my philosophical filter. Right. I have a certain philosophy. I think that a lot of people share my philosophies, and my philosophy, a lot of which is not necessarily out of my own head. It's stuff that I picked up from reading stuff.
Okay, so go ahead and philosophize.
So what we have here is not Democrat progressives versus Republican conservatives or people in the GOP or whatever. These are not the battle lines. What we have is the established ruling elite versus the people that make up the voting population. And
yes.
they've had us for 40 years or so, maybe
40, 50, maybe 50.
Yeah, a lot of years now. They got this ruling establishment. Now, when you get Reagan in, I think the reason Reagan never had to look at the establishment, when I talk about establishment, I don't talk about the president. I mean all of the leaders, all the elected officials in Congress, House Republican Senate, and just everybody, and even sitting Supreme Court justices. All this stuff is like this big blob of people, including, you can even throw the media involved in there.
Right.
They're all this big blob of ruling elites that collude with each other in order to retain power at the expense of the freedom of the people. That is the philosophy we're talking about here at Smith Radio. And when you see Romney and you see Ryan using the same language and using the same attacks on the same person as your Obamas and your Clintons, they're colluding. How in the world is a Republican colluding with the Democrats?
It doesn't make any sense.
Against Trump. And then you got all the people, a vast, huge majority of people, not just, check this out, not just Republicans, but also some Democrats who say, you know what, I think I want to vote for Trump. So you got Democrats and Republicans coming together to vote and support this candidate, Trump, who's getting bashed by leaders in both the Republican Party and the Democrat Party. So the battle lines have nothing to do with the parties. What it is the ruling elite against the little man in the voting population. And Trump represents the people for the first time in maybe my lifetime.
I can't remember. And check this out. This is the speech I was going to play. This is what he says. Listen to his words and take him for his words. We're really big here on Smith Radio about words, because words have meaning. This is Trump on his campaign.
My goal is always, again, to bring people together. But if I'm forced to fight for something I really care about, I will never, ever back down, and our country will never, ever back down. Thank you. I fought for my family. I fought for my business. I fought for my employees. And now I'm going to fight for you, the American people.
That's a great
nobody has
soundbite.
ever fought before.
Like nobody has ever fought before.
I love that soundbite. That's the first time I heard that. That's great. He needs to repeat that at every rally. He may repeat it. I don't remember him saying that at the rally I went to in Columbus, but it's definitely a great soundbite.
He comes off as a servant to the people.
Yeah, and people who are conservative, who are against him in the voting population.
Right.
Because we know why the elites are opposing him.
Correct.
They think he's demagoguing the population, that he doesn't mean what he's saying.
Well, because they're projecting, because they know they never mean what they say.
Right. They're not taking into consideration that maybe this guy's different. And I think that there's more evidence to support that he would actually keep these promises than the evidence to support that he wouldn't keep these promises.
Right, and we've talked about that too, that show me a time, show me something, let's go back in history, show me a time he said, I'm going to do this, and it turned out to be a lie and he didn't do it.
Well, they're trying to use the Trump University and several other of his businesses, like the meat. You were in the meat business. So you know.
It's a legitimate business.
Right.
However, the way they sell it may not be such legit.
Okay.
But
all right. I mean, it is meat, right?
It's meat. Well,
and it's not like they're gouging you. The prices aren't bad.
Oh, this facetiousness. This being facetious.
See, Brian is on the inside of this conversation. I'm just an observer. So you're saying that it's a big scam.
Even at my cost as a wholesaler, my cost, what? It was cheaper for me to go to Kroger's at my cost.
Really?
And we would triple the. I mean, those people.
But there's delivery though, right?
Those people who delivered it would triple the price. I don't know them, but that's what they would. Some would go so far as to tell them, "Oh no, the price on that brochure for the case says $236. That's a half a case."
Oh no!
And their cost on a case was like $80,
which is more expensive than getting it at Kroger.
Yes,
come on,
yes.
really?
And you're listening to Smith Radio with Brian Smith and Carrie Smith live every Sunday night, 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Time. If you want to be a part of the show, call in 513-888-15.